So I just watched Kant's Tech World video about why you should pay for FOSS free and open source software. Now this concept may be alien to a lot of open source supporters, but if you really think about it, you actually need to pay. And by pay, I'm not talking about turning the open source programs, apps into subscription based, kind of what has become of Apple Store and even of the Play Store on Android. Open source software can both be good and bad. Just because the software is open source doesn't mean it's good, or vice versa, and that's what Kant was arguing. I highly recommend to check his channel. I watch almost any new video of his. That's the first Linux expert. Actually, he's been using Linux for more than 20 years if I'm not mistaken. Actually a Linux expert saying how it is, as part of all those on YouTube who claim Linux and open source this and that, while it's not what they claim, and dare I say even sometimes lie to get people to try it only to be disappointed. How do I know this? I was one of them. People lied to me, or at best misled me about Linux and open source until I tried Linux for myself and learned the actual operating system. And I'm not a Linux expert by any means. I've been using it for almost a year now, and I've been using open source software long ago, and now almost all of my software is open source. I still use proprietary software, and there are good proprietary software, but I'm diverting away from the main topic. Let's talk about his video. Of course I will not play it, you have to watch it for yourself. It's a good video, but long story short, he's saying that if you want the software to be better, you should donate or even buy it. Yes, some people sell their open source software, like Louis Rossmann. He has a keyboard voice to text, which is a good one, and he has a YouTube player. I don't know if it's still active because Google filed a lawsuit, I believe. It's an app that combines YouTube and other platforms into one platform. Essentially, it's a YouTube and other sites player. Google obviously had problem with it since you can watch videos without ad. But the point is, he made it clear that he sells this software, even though it will continue to work kind of like WinRAR. So Kant is arguing that you need to donate, and not like $5 or $10 a year, if you want software to be better. Because a lot of open source software is not on par with the proprietary ones. Namely, video editing, KDE and Live is nothing like a professional video editor. Even Filmora, which everybody hates, has more features and it's easier to use than KDE and Live. And I've been using KDE and Live. Now I use Shortcut and DaVinci Resolve as well as Filmora. I did not try CapCut, and I don't like spyware software, but those software video editors make your life much easier video editing wise. You can see YouTube videos comparing them, but the point that Kant was trying to make is developing software costs time, a lot of time. If you want actually good software, and testing, proper testing, and actually if you want good developers, it all costs money. And Linux fans and open source fans love to rant and rave that everything should be free. Nothing is free. The developers put their money and time into developing those applications, and you're getting for free. If you're not contributing, if you're not supporting, doing anything, the software will go nowhere. Developers also have to eat, and they're doing this in their spare time. He was talking about LibreOffice, how people complain that's not compatible that much with Microsoft Office, but it costs a lot of money to run this office, and if you want more features you actually has to donate and pay, which no one wants to do. And I get the mentality of a lot of Linux fans and open source fans that if something's free, no need to pay. Nothing is truly free. If you really enjoy the program, donate. I myself have bought countless apps and made donations both through proprietary and open source, and I hope that you will do the same. And I'm not trying to blow my own horn like I'm a generous guy, whatnot, but if I love something and it's really useful, I pay for it, even by donations, giving the guy who make it some incentive as a thank you. Now, I'm not obliged to do it for open source or any app, and yes, I did not pay for every single app I use, even the ones I like, but I'm trying to do my part as a thank you. And I myself received donations before for stuff I did online. So I know how it feels. A lot of developers would do a better job if they get paid. And I don't like the mentality of the Linux community that nothing should be paid for, everything should be free. Developers are using their time and resources to develop stuff. Why is it a sin for developer to charge for an application if the application is good and open source as well? What's the problem? Throwing $1 a year will not do anything. Developers spend time. Actual good developers would rather work in a company that pays them money, like Kent said, than develop free software for free. They also need to pay bills and do stuff. And I'm not saying that open source software should be now paid and everybody should pay, but Linux community especially need to change their mind that paying for stuff and paid software is the devil and it's very bad. That's not the case. Bad software is bad software regardless if it's open source or it's free. There are many bad open source free software and there are many good proprietary softwares and vice versa. Kent also said in another video this point exactly, that just because an application is open source and free doesn't mean it's good. Look at the software itself, not if it's free or open source. Look if it serves purpose and it's reasonably priced. That's the point I agree with, and I recommend watching latest full video why you should pay for open source software. I agree with most of it. Yes, there are a few points that I don't agree with, but obviously it's a good video, and I hope that Linux community finally change their minds and accept that sometimes, and I'm not saying once again that every software should be now subscription based. It's ridiculous what Apple has been doing and what Android has been doing. Every little program is now subscription based, even word processors, which is ridiculous. But change the mentality that paid software is okay provided it's not harmful and priced well, and maybe the developers of other paid software will be attracted to Linux and offer their software, which will in turn increase Linux usability and popularity. Think about it this way. If you're screaming and have pitchforks and chasing away any paid software, then Linux will never grow, because yes, proprietary software, some proprietary software is not replaceable. The open source alternatives are not that good. I'm sorry. Like I said, not every open source project is a good one. There are many proprietary software that are good. And this is the initial point that Kent was trying to make. I've been saying the same thing long ago. People in the Linux community should accept that developers also need money. There's a difference between getting donations or pricing your software accordingly if it's good software, than greed and milking money from people. And I think Linux community just merged the two. Greed and actually good software, proprietary paid software, is the same to them. No, it's not. Judge the software on usability and price rather than if it's free or open source. So yeah, just wanted to get this off my chest. I watched the video and was inspired to make this one. Kent, if you're watching, thanks. Keep fighting the good fight, if you can call him that. A lot of his arguments are great and refreshing from your typical Linux or open source fanboy. Highly recommending watching his channel. Anyway, let me know in the comment section what you think, and I'll talk to you in my next video.